In the previous video, I've talked about how to upload your data items from a spreadsheet or send them to us via the API to dynamically generate the mobile pages for your data items based on the templates that you would design. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend that you do so, and you can find it in our knowledge base, which is located on kb.supportserver.mobi. Click on API and templates, click on the first link you find there, scroll down, and you'll see this video there. In this video today, I would like to talk about how to make your data items searchable, essentially how to enable your visitors to search for your data items based on the custom search form that you would set up, as well as how to display a segment of your data items based on certain parameters that you can specify. So let's get started, and first let's take a look at the data that we're going to use for this example. On your main account dashboard, under admin features, you can click on API and templates. Let's take a look at the data container that we had loaded in the previous video. Click on show items. We have 3 data items here. They just have some basic information that we've uploaded from an Excel spreadsheet. And by the way, these are the pages that we've generated in the previous video. They are based on the data that came from the spreadsheet. And these pages are based on 2 different design templates that we've created earlier. So what I'd like to do today is set up a new page, call it search. And on that page, I'm going to add a new widget called items search and list. The purpose of this widget is, first of all, to add a search form that would allow your visitors to search for your data items, as well as optionally, the second purpose of it is to specify the parameters for a list that you would like to display to your visitors by default. For instance, if this is in the inventory of cars, you might want to display cars that match certain mileage or price range and link to it from some other page on the mobile side that says, see all cars that match this mileage or this price. Okay, so let's give it a header. In this case, we're dealing with items that have to do with food. Okay, container. Here you would specify which container you'd like to connect to this item search and list. You can do some more customization here, such as change the text that goes on labels, as well as change some fonts and colors. And then next thing you would need to do is define which fields you would like to include in your search form as well as in your search results. So for instance, one of the fields we have is the page title tag. This is the field that is used to dynamically populate the SEO title tag that would go on the pages. Of course, it makes no sense to include it in the search form or in the search results. More info URL, I don't want to include that either. Price and name, I would like to include both, and I also would like for the name to show up above the price, both on the search form and in the search results. Page domain, no need for that. Click on save, and this is what my search form looks like. Let's open it in the browser and take a look. Let's try searching by price, and here it shows the items that are $9 or more. You can do some more customization here. For instance, you may not want to display these labels in front of every piece of data. So let's remove the name label. And instead, what I'd like to do is for the name to link to the page that displays the details for that item. In other words, the page that was dynamically generated for this data item. To do that, I would simply click, check this checkbox, link to details. Click on Save, refresh the page, and now the name is linking to the page that was generated for this data item. So this is it in a nutshell, and the second thing I'd like to show you is how to use the URL parameters to display a list of data based on certain parameters. For instance, every item here has a line that shows the URL parameter name. So if I would like to show items that start with $10, all I have to do is copy this from price, URL name, and then here I would put a question mark, copy that parameter there, and then set its value to $10. So this is what my URL looks like, and by default, when this page first loads, it is going to display the items that are $10 in price or higher. So let's copy this link somewhere for now. And I'm going to use a different parameter now to give me the list of items that are $10 or less. For that, I'm going to use the toPrice parameter instead and set it to 10 as well. Okay, and here I see the list of items that are $10 or less. You can use multiple parameters if it makes sense. If you'd like to use multiple parameters, what you need to do is separate them by the ampersand. And you can use as many as you want. Okay, so now we have two pages or two URLs. One is displaying everything $10 or higher, and the other is showing everything that is $10 or less. Let's go back to pages and set up a new page. Just call it pricing for example purposes. Click on edit, and then on this page what I would like to do is add two link buttons. Actually, let's call it 10 or less, and I'm going to link it to the URL that is set to display items $10 or less. And then the second button is going to be 10 or more. And I will set that button to link to the items that are $10 or higher. Click on Save, Publish. Let's take a look at our page. So clicking on the first button takes us to the page that displays items that are $10 or less. And then clicking on the second button takes us to the page that displays items that are $10 or higher. Again, this is a very simplistic example, your real life examples are going to be a little bit more, complicated, I would say, but hopefully this gives you a good overview on how this feature works and how you can set up your search form to search for your data items, as well as how to use the URL parameters to display the items that match certain criteria.